Welcome to the Dynasty Nerds Fantasy Football Podcast, where we discuss Dynasty strategy, rankings, and all things NFL. So get ready to geek out on fantasy football with your host, Rich Dotson.
And welcome to the Dynasty Nerds Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Rich Dotson. He's Matt O'Hara.
Hey.
He's Garret Price.
How's it going?
And we are wrapping up the 2026 rookie running back class today with our third and final episode. Shorter than most, like we've said. There's only 3 episodes. Usually we do 4. In a super deep class. We could do potentially 5. I'm excited to see how the 2027 class goes. But this class did not deserve 4 episodes.
Could you imagine if we did a 4th episode?
No, I couldn't.
I mean, come on.
If you think we're going to go with a bang.
I can only imagine what the washouts are like. I haven't gotten around to watching all the tape for those guys yet, but if it's worse than these guys.
I mean, dude, when it's all said and done, like, you got Jeremiah Love, and then, dude, Mike Washington, Jonah Coleman, Desmond Claiborne? Mike Claiborne?
No, you never know. I mean, you never know, Rich, right?
and maybe, possibly the first guy we're going to talk about today. I'm sure everybody's been waiting for this guy. For some people, the consensus number 2 running back in this class. Let's see where we land. Yeah, can we stick it? Can we get a perfect 10? Come on, Mary Lou,
can we?
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know until we get his name and statistics.
All right. So let's get started here. Jadarian Price, running back, Notre Dame, 5'10" and 5/8 inches, 203 pounds, 9 5/8 inch hands, 30 7/8 inch arm. He's 22. He'll be 23 in October. He ran a 4.49 in the 40-yard dash at a 1.61 10-yard split, a 10.4 broad jump, 21 bench press reps, a 35-inch vertical. Last year at Notre Dame, he had 113 attempts, 647 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns, 6 receptions, 87 yards receiving, and an additional 2 touchdowns as the number 2 back basically there at Notre Dame.
Yeah, number 2 back at Notre Dame, number 2 back in a lot of people's dynasty rankings, running back rankings overall. I saw somebody, it was an analyst, they mock drafted Jadarian Price like pick 32, and like I laughed out loud. I LOL'd. I was like, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? So Jadarian Price, number 2 at Notre Dame, which is, you don't see that a lot, right? I think the last time I saw like 2 high-profile running backs was Cadillac Williams and Ronnie Brown out of Auburn.
Last year, man.
I mean, last year, yeah.
Ohio State.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. Okay, yeah. Those were.
Well, there's those guys.
Well, I was thinking of the 2 first-round running backs. I started that. I was like, oh,
sure.
Yeah, but okay. Sure. So 2 high-profile. Yes, the last time I saw it was just a meager 12 months ago of 2 stud running backs. The difference was those were 2 stud running backs. I consider Jeremiah Love a stud running back, and I think Jadarian Price is a fine running back. He did have an Achilles tear towards his Achilles a couple of years ago, which, his numbers doesn't look like he's affected whatsoever. When you look at Jadarian Price and people are like, hey, how is this guy number 2? And I think for me, it really starts off with his vision and his patience is where it starts with me. I think he has really good instincts to like read his blocks, press the line. He sets up his defenders pretty well. He lets actually like plays develop in front of him. So he's a very smooth runner, Jadarian Price. So for me, that's where it starts. I think he has very solid contact balance. I think he's physical enough so he could stay upright, keeps those legs moving. He'll fall forward when you need him to, takes those yards after contact well. Some nice burst. He can get moving pretty quickly at 5'11", 203. He can get going pretty quick there, and you can turn some chunk plays out of that. With his vision, his quick burst, it's pretty nice. He's got some nice lateral agility. He can be a little shifty there. He's got nice feet, right? So he can move his feet pretty quickly. He moves throughout traffic pretty nice. He could when you find him in a tight space, he knows what to do. Like, he's a solid running back there. His hips are loose, which I always like. And he has ability, to take off these big chunk plays where there's going to be some running backs we talk about later that do not have that ability, that are even faster than Jadarian Price. But, Jadarian showed at Notre Dame that he had the ability to kind of go out there and put off some big plays. Big problem with him is I always want running backs to be PPR guys, and this guy was just not involved in the passing game at all. You could say, well, Jeremiah Love was so good at it where he didn't need to be involved, but give me something. Only 15 career receptions, and they were mostly just like check downs. So he doesn't have a very dynamic route tree, not involved in there. So that's a huge, not saying it's end all be all because he's running back 2 in the team, but that's a huge concern. Had some fumbles on tape, nothing really crazy. Not a big, powerful back. Again, 5'11", 203. So usually, if you're 5'11", I like those guys to be like 215, a little bit more preferably.
That's ideal.
Yeah. So, going from that spot, not being involved on passing downs, his pass protection a little inconsistent, but again,
I feel like both those guys, they didn't stay in much at all at Notre Dame, so there wasn't a lot to really look at on tape as far as pass pro. But so I think that is like the one thing that I have no evaluation, like almost no evaluation on for this guy. It's really hard to kind of figure out what they're good at in that aspect at all, Rich.
Yeah. Never is the main back. We talked about that. 113 carries, I think, was the peak year that he had in there. And you mentioned Trevor Henry, Quinshon Junkins, right? That was a true 1-2 punch. And they're both really good. And this was just a Jeremiah Love show. So for me, it's hard for me to get excited about Jadarian Price because he's the kind of guy that's totally capable of me to be a change of pace running back. Come in and be a solid guy. If your guy goes down, you could trust him as well. Is he better than Zach Charbonnet? That kind of role. I just don't. It's hard for me to say this guy is a number 2 running back in the class when I'd rather just chase the upside of a guy like Mike Washington, who's got a lot of flaws as well, and Jonah Coleman. And for me, guys, where I pass this along, I just want to this to me is the epitome of this class, right? This is the guy in the last episode. He's been the clear cut, number 2 guy in a lot of people's rankings as they come along through this process. I said I saw him in a mock draft where he's mocked in the draft in the first round. And here we are, I get to him and I'm just massively underwhelmed, right? And I hate to say that, I'm sound like I don't want to say it like he's a bad running back, but in any other class, this guy's at best running back 10,
6, 7. No, I think listen, I think he's solid at a lot of things.
Yes.
And
he's a good running back.
And so he's solid, but not spectacular at a lot of things. And that's where I have a hard time kind of evaluating him really super high. But he ends up grading out pretty well in this class, especially.
Yeah. What'd you give him?
Because he was like a 73.6.
Almost identical score to me. I have a 73.3.
Yeah, it's a lot of 7.5s to 7s. A couple of, pass pro got down at 5 because who knows what he can actually do in that respect. Receiving was lower, 6.5, because I saw him do it a couple of times and he looked passable, but it was only, 1, 2, 5 times total that I saw him catch passes in all the films that we have, So it's very few and far between. The things that I like about him, you already mentioned, Rich, his vision. He has some pretty good contact balance. I love his ability to get skinny and kind of squeeze through some holes, which is nice. Nice little quality when you're kind of, you're not the biggest guy, but he can really kind of squeeze through some things that other guys can't get through. I think he's got okay, he's fast enough. He's got enough burst, all that kind of stuff, but nothing spectacular, nothing great. Lateral agility is there for being 5'11", 203. I think he plays behind his pads well, so he's got a good pad level and he's getting the most out of his frame. It's not that much. You know what I mean? It's only 203 pounds. It's not a 215, 220 pound guy. So, there's a lot to like. There's not a lot to love. So it's one of those things that in the right situation, the NFL team might find themselves, hey, this guy's the best we can do for the rest of this year. And it kind of flows over into another year. So he gets a year and a half, 2 years where he's kind of the guy, but they're going to be looking for, I think, a more explosive type of, big play guy, a more well-rounded guy eventually. So he's the epitome of a hashtag 2 to 3 year window guy, maybe even 1.5 to 2 year window type of guy for me.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like living in like a small town a couple hundred years ago. Like you got to marry somebody, right? Like this is, yeah, it might be
The best I can do, babe. Let's do it.
It might be a sex, or something like that, but like, hey man, you can do way worse. Like you can do way worse. Like they've got a great personality.
Yeah. So for me with Jadarian Price, I'm actually pretty much in sync with where you guys are at. Like I said, I already gave my nerd score on him in the mid 73s there, low 73s. So that's the thing for me is I do think he's a well-rounded back, and I don't think that there are a lot of major flaws. Even the receiving, it's just more of a incomplete. Kind of like if you guys remember, like Melvin Gordon back in the day, like didn't catch any passes at Wisconsin. Then he gets to the Chargers, and you're like, oh, he's fine there. Like maybe that'll be the case, or maybe we realize, oh, this is why he didn't catch passes. Like it's hard to say right now. So it's more of an incomplete than anything. I was really disappointed that he came in at 203 at the combine because it was funny. And I never saw this on tape, but people that I like and trust were giving like Javonte Williams type of comps. And I was like, I just don't see that when I watch him play. Like big names that you guys would know are giving him that kind of comp. And I was like, I just don't see that in his play style. I don't think he's that physically imposing. I don't know that he's built the same, but so I was thinking because he was listed in college at 209. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're hearing some things. Maybe he's going to come into the combine at 215. So he's going to come in higher than his college weight, and he's going to show a little, maybe more of that. And, we'll see. He does the opposite. He comes in lighter than his college weight at 203. And my guess is it was to run the 40-yard dash. He probably wanted to get a good 40 time, maybe cut a little bit of weight, run lighter. But if you were to tell me, and I did, I mean, I watched both him and Jeremiah Love, and you would tell me that he weighed less than Jeremiah Love during the season, I had a hard time believing that would be the case. I would have assumed they're very, very close, or Jadarian Price was the more physical back, so he would weigh more. So the 203 is weird to me. Like that one doesn't fully compute. But there are times where you see he's not a bulldozer. He is not like a truck stick guy. We'll see it at times with Jonah Coleman. We'll see it at times with Mike Washington, but those guys both weighed in the 220s. Right. We're not seeing that out of Jadarian Price. So that's, I think the difference there is just the true body mass that those guys have that Jadarian Price just doesn't. I'm with you. I think the earliest he could possibly go, honestly, I think the earliest any of these running backs could go is at pick 32 in the second round of the NFL draft. I think that's the absolute earliest any of them could go. I think all of these guys probably end up being third round guys, if I had to guess. If there's one that sneaks in the second, though, I believe it's going to end up being Mike Washington just because of the ceiling, the frame, the long speed, all of that kind of stuff. And his tape was good, too. His tape wasn't bad. But all of these guys are literally within fractions of a point of each other. So I'm not going to crown one like, oh, this guy's definitely the running back too. Like they're all good, but none of them are great and they all have warts. So what wart can you live with the most?
Yeah. Without like NFL draft capital playing into this, it's gonna change, opportunity with these guys. I think those guys are pretty locked in as my top 4 guys, Mike Washington, Jonah Coleman, and then obviously Jeremiah Love's in a whole tier by himself. But like, I want to see where these guys land because obviously one can land in a dead spot, but like just in a vacuum right now, no draft capital. I'm probably going, if I had to rank them in order right now, Jeremiah Love, Mike Washington, and then Jonah Coleman, then Jadarian Price, if it was me. That's how I would rank them today from a dynasty fantasy football perspective. I can understand like from an NFL team liking Price and how safety is having like, hey, we need a really good number 2, the guy to come in here. But from a dynasty standpoint and upside standpoint, from PPR and production, that's how I would rank them and feel comfortable with. I think I'm going to be taking a lot of receivers ahead of them. I think even a safe guy like, if he finds himself in the first round, which all the rumors are saying he will, but again, we heard about Shadur too, is Ty Simpson. Like Ty Simpson, somebody I would take ahead of probably my running back 2 in this class if he gets first round draft capital. And then we'll get into the tight ends. So I'm sure there's going to be probably 5 tight ends I'm going to be interested in as well. So, again, and I'm just kind of put a point on this because it doesn't get better after this, where like this class lived up to its negativity, right? Like, you mentioned before, Garrett, like, oh man, I'm just looking for that diamond in the rough. And I was like, just get rid of the word diamond because it's rough out on those running back streets. This is the worst running back class I have, like one of the, like, I think I could say it's the worst. It sucks that Jeremiah Love's so good. He outweighs a little bit, but like
he helps a lot.
Yeah, man. Is it brutal?
It literally, my scores, Rich, are in the 80s for Jeremiah Love, in the 73s for those 3 guys, and then I don't have another score until 70. That's the next score. So where normally I have 12, 15 scores before we get to the 70s. Like,
yeah, so if you need running back help on your dynasty team, you're looking at I'm trying to make some small trades today for some good upside, like Chris Rodriguez, Emmanuel Wilson, an old running back. Definitely if you're a contender these later firsts, like I think you're better off being a little bit patient as well, like than trying to go after it today. Cause I think by the time it comes for you to draft, there'll be some receivers there, right? Like, the Chris Brazzles, KC Concepcion, Omar Cooper, those guys are going to make this class, and those guys are good receivers. I wouldn't say they're like great. One of them could turn into be a really good receiver, but like those names, and I think their draft capital, definitely some that go in high second, are gonna push up the value of that pick 1-9, 110 a little bit. I mean, some tight ends, and if Ty Simpson goes in there, you should be able to get a running back pretty easily. Definitely from a team that's not ready to compete, that wants one of those good upside receivers. But man, oh man, do you have to move out of this class if you want immediate help?
Yeah. Yep.
So Matt, who's number 2 on this exciting list?
I mean, after that kind of intro, here we go. Nick Singleton, running back, Penn State, 6 foot, 219 pounds, 9 3/8 inch hands, 31-inch arms. He is 22. He just turned 22 in January, so that's a young 22. He wasn't able to run anything at the combine. He had the broken 5th metatarsal that happened at the Senior Bowl last year at Penn State in 12 games. He had 123 rush attempts, 549 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns, 24 receptions, 219 yards receiving, and an additional touchdown. So 14 total touchdowns last year for Nick Singleton on a kind of crappy year. So that's a lot of touchdowns at least.
Yeah. So Nick Singleton, if you are a person that is interested in the college game or Devy stuff, campus to Canton, this is a name you've heard for a very, very long time. He was the top running back in his class coming out, had the size, had the speed. He's one of those guys that like gets off the bus and you're like, oh, that's the running back one there. Like that's the guy. And he came out his freshman year and to his credit had a really good freshman year. Pretty similar in his sophomore campaign. His junior year, he had an okay year, but it wasn't as good. And like, we're starting to see some more, like, he just never got any better. He was kind of just the same guy. And, questions on, is he going to come out? Is he not? And him and Drew Aller, I don't know if they got together and decided, but both of them decided to go back for one more year. We're going to push it for a ship. We're going to go back another year.
And Miss Cleo.
Yeah, that thing did not work out for them. They went from like middling prospects, guys that were going to be talked about. Aller was a potential day 1 guy. Nick Singleton was a day 2 guy that people were talking about. Now both are likely day 3 guys. Maybe Aller gets into day 2 on some upside, but both those guys kind of fell. And Nick Singleton is a guy that just has really, his star's fallen. There's really no better way to say it. What he does well, he does really well. He is a big guy. He is fast. And he actually does catch the ball pretty well for a running back. So it's funny. He's almost like, and this would sound so crazy if I would have said this a year ago, but he's like a poor man's Mike Washington. They actually have some things in common. He's just not as good as Mike Washington, which sounds completely backwards from what you would have said before.
He's the complete opposite of Jadarian Price.
Yes.
That's what he is. He's literally the complete opposite. He's like upside down of him. If you did both those guys and you put them together, now we're cooking.
Yeah, that's why I wanted him and Katron Allen together. That's why, they would have been there. They were together at Penn State. I wish I could put them together here at as a prospect. But look, that's the thing. Like, I don't think he does a lot of the little things well. Like, he's more of an athlete than he is a true running back outside of his pass catching ability. He's just like a good athlete that happens to play running back, more of a straight line speed guy. He's not going to make a lot of moves. He's not going to make some guys miss in the open field. It's one cut and go. There's going to be teams interested in him because in a class that's this shallow, he's actually technically, it feels gross, he is technically my RB5 at a 70.8. But it's because somebody had to be there. So, like, if you want to buy out
there, like, give me DeMond Claiborne, give me Claiborne. Is
like, so that's the thing. The thing that you can hang your hat on is he is at least big, fast, and can catch the ball. Not everyone can say that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you pretty much nailed it there. He has good initial burst, acceleration, speed. That stuff's there. Catching the ball is there. He completely has to gear down to switch whatever directions there. So he's to move anywhere other than straight. He has to really gear down for. He doesn't play with a pad level that kind of would
very upright
generate any sort of power in his 219 pound frame. So there's a lot that needs to be kind of honed here if anyone's going to harness what Nick Singleton can kind of become as a running back. So I'm with you there. He's going to get drafted and there's somebody that's going to say he's got enough enough athleticism, enough skill that I can kind of teach him to do the rest of it and turn him into a pretty good running back. And if they do, and if he gets better, which we kind of when I fail at kind of evaluating prospects, it's because I don't leave room for people to get better at the pro level. And he's a guy that I feel like similarly, I have him at a 69.8, so I'm like a 1 point lower than you on this. I feel like he has that grade, but it's almost in my brain with an asterisk. Like if he improves in some areas and somebody can get some stuff out of him, he has got a lot of potential. So I think if I see him like that, NFL teams might see him like that. So there might be somebody that takes him in and tends to kind of get more out of him than what we've seen at Penn State. So that said, I mean, is he more than like you can't take him anywhere for like the second round in rookie drafts, right? Like that's still, that still kind of
late
feels
second round is the earliest I'm starting to consider.
Right. So that's kind of where I'm at with Nick Singleton, but he's a guy that could be something. So he feels good if you're drafting in the third round and you're getting him. You're like, all right, yeah, that feels pretty good. It's a high upside guy that if he develops can turn into something. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think he can live on special teams. This is a player I started watching a little bit of last year, just because we didn't know if he was going to come out or not. And he was like a big time name. And boy, like I think I even mentioned on the podcast, like I was not impressed.
I don't get it
at all.
Very whelmed.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on? This sucks. And you mentioned like his pros to me: big, strong, fast, and he can catch. Those are big pros. And what's weird is because I mentioned before, like, he's a big, fast guy who doesn't have big plays at all. Like, just not like there's no big plays to be had for this guy at all. Like, there's not like you think he's the kind of running back that would plant his foot and find a crease, and rip off like a 50-yard touchdown run. No, not Nick Singleton. Not going to happen. His vision to me is atrocious. I think you nailed it, Garrett, when you said he's a big, fast running back. Where like our athlete, that's what I think he is. I don't think he even understands like I don't like you, Matt. You said a chance to grow. I think at this point, I'd have given him some leeway if last year coming out in that category. But the fact that he went back this year again, his vision was still just as bad. When you see him like just miss clear lanes, get the football, run to his defensive backs. I always compare that to like there's a guy that was a high level running back that did it all the time. It was Trent Richardson, right? Like a guy who just did not have really good vision at all. He went number 3 overall. And for me, like just his overall instincts and vision are bad. He's not elusive at all when it comes to having a football. There's no wiggle there. Like you said, he's a straight line runner. His stats actually went down this year. No looseness in those hips. I hate tight hips, on anybody. Usually if you have a tight hips, you're a tight end. Definitely not a running back, but that's what I look at him for here too. He had that foot injury in the Senior Bowl, but whatever. That's an excuse not to test, I guess, but you want to run fast. To me, yeah, man, you want to put a running back 5, that's fine. I don't see, like, I think Braylon Allen was significantly better than him. And he's like
he's not in this class. I can't put him at 5.
I know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't believe in him. Like, he's the kind of guy, like, maybe Nick Singleton had a really good offensive line.
Izzy Abanikanda is who he reminds me of.
Okay, that's fine too. I'll take that.
Which
too,
is worse.
Yeah, it is worse. And listen, Penn State was bad this year, but still, like, if he found himself on a really good offensive line and throws the football, they didn't stack the box, and he puts up a couple big runs. I think he kind of had that Braylon Allen effect. We're like, oh, this guy's going to turn this. It's Nick Singleton, right? Like, and you'd want to sell immediately because I just don't think he has what it takes to be a good college running back, let alone a good NFL running back. Just one of those people that just so happen to be a really big, gifted, athletic person. And can do some things, but when it comes to fantasy football in the NFL level, I just don't really see a path here in this class or for this running back. And there's a lot of guys that fit that mold, and you can rank them how you want. And if anybody wants to get any soapboxes, I think outside that top 4, let them speak, but don't let them trick you. Like, don't draft them. Like I said, I'm gonna draft Claiborne just because that's what I'm gonna do. Because I want the twitch.
Don't fall for it. Don't fall for Rich's soapbox, man. Don't do it.
I mean, but even that, like, I'm still drafting so many people ahead of him. You know what I mean? Like, like when the overall rank set comes out, when we talk about this, and like when we do our initial rookie mock draft, I'm real like curious because we do the mock draft before the NFL draft first, and then we do the mock draft after, right? Because we do the tape mock draft and the initial one. I'm real interested. We're going to slide in and get to, and what I want to do is I'd like to, if we can, since it's that kind of mock draft, I'd love to get like Andrew and Jagger in that as well for the mock draft portion of it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna join us. Oh, you're talking about the pre or the post?
Even the pre one too.
Oh, I bet they do it
as well and see where these running backs go. Because I think it's gonna be the biggest question, right? Because like everybody needs running back help, and some people are just going to think names only, and Nick Singleton's one of the biggest names in this class.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, before we go on. Oh no, we have one more.
Sorry. Yeah, we got one more. Let's move on to the next name before Rich starts rattling off stuff. All right. Le'Veon Moss, running back, Texas A&M, 5'11", 203 pounds, 9.5-inch hands, 31-inch arms. He is 23. He'll be 24 in November. He didn't run anything at the combine last year at Texas A&M in only 7 games. He had 77 rush attempts, 404 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns, 2 receptions, 3 yards. Sorry, those numbers are really small, and 0 touchdowns. So he only played in 7 games last year because of an ankle injury. And so he tried to come back even in that college football playoff game. So one of the 7 games is him trying to come back, and then he re-injured that ankle, which is probably why he didn't run anything at the combine. I didn't even look, but that was in December. So I'm guessing that's what it was.
He tore his MCL, ACL in 24.
Oh, all right.
Some issues. So, because you sometimes want to give those guys a benefit, they take a year to come back as well. So, at the end of 2024, he did tear his MCL and his ACL as well.
Yeah. Rich, you gonna talk about him?
Yeah. So Le'Veon Mess. Yeah. Oh,
Le'Veon Mess.
I like his initial burst. I like that. Like he's got that initial get off quickness. He gets to the second level pretty quickly, and he runs angry, like he runs strong.
Yeah,
which is nice. Has some solid contact balance, has some power behind that. I think outside, like not like Nick Singleton, I think he actually does have okay vision. I think he reads his initial hole pretty decisively. Hits it, gets there, and gets going, which is nice. I think he keeps his pads low as well, so he has that low center of gravity, which is nice about him. He's somebody who could probably play, I don't know, multiple different, running back, but he's good. I think he'd be scheme variable, a guy like Le'Veon Moss, given that ability. But like, again, he has injuries and he's not like, there's like no wiggle to this guy's game is either. Like he has no wiggle. He's not overly elusive. And even though he has that, like, when you watch him get this handoff, you're like, oh, this could be a big explosive running back. But like he gets that going and then that's it. Like he's like maxed out pretty quickly. Like he hits that like ultimate power, then he kind of like flatlines there. So like he doesn't really have that long speed. Like he hits that final gear pretty quickly. Really, really makes a lot of people miss, right? Like he reads the hole, but like that's about it. Like a linebacker can tackle this guy, no problem whatsoever. He's non-existent in pass protection. I mean, like there's a couple times I saw him like go line up to like block a blitz, and like it was like that movie, The Little Giants.
Maybe I missed that. Well, I felt like he was okay at pass pro. I felt like that was one of the things that he was all right at. But
man, I didn't think he was very good. I
didn't think he was good at holding up, like the leverage part of it. He wasn't great at, but I didn't think he was like whiffing on blocks.
I gave him an average score.
Oh, see, yeah. I saw a play where like he went to go like he set up early. And maybe this is what stuck in my head. Like he went to go set up early, like the defender just like ran right around him. Like it was like non-effort. He's not involved in the passing game either.
That's the tough thing to eval on this one. Yeah. I mean, two receptions, 3 yards, man. Come on.
Yeah. So he's not existent in the passing game too. So again, falls in the run falls in the category of how does he win in fantasy football? And I don't see it again. Like I would put Le'Veon Moss. Like I have no problem throwing Le'Veon Moss in that like bottom third in that jumbo tier where you said like, or maybe like right outside of it. I get he's so non-existent in the passing game. No, he has to be outside that third tier. Like if you want to say he's like in a few guys you throw in that fourth tier in a really bad class, like I'm okay with that too. But like the fact that he has no PPR skill set to me just tells me like I want not like I'd rather just take like Emmett Johnson would be significantly higher than him, right? The pass catcher running back out of Nebraska, essentially, like significantly higher because I want to chase those PPR guys, and he'd be in that third tier. So for me, Le'Veon Moss out of Texas A&M is just hard to get behind from a dynasty fantasy football perspective. Like I don't think he's definitely capable to like make an NFL roster and be a running back on a team, but like I don't know how he wins from a fantasy level, guys.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Rich. It's tough. I think Le'Veon Moss is a better running back than a Nick Singleton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's there's no doubt about that. And he graded better for me. He's actually a 71 for me on my my scale. So I think he does some things laterally better. You know what I mean? Like he can actually move. You made the Nick Singleton comp kind of to him not being able to move very well. I think he's much better than Singleton moving laterally. Not great, but better than Singleton. And I do like his vision. I think his contact balance is pretty good. The speed is weird. I saw him on some plays where he did not have the ball and there was like a big play downfield and he's catching people and like running down the play and stuff. And he's just to celebrate in the end zone. So I'm like, is this guy actually like fast? And he's just like really patient as a running back. I don't get it because I didn't see
burst. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this guy's like, you look at it like initially, like this guy's a fast running back. And then it just like ends.
Yeah, it's weird. I'd love to see a timed speed on this guy. Obviously, we're not going to get it because the ankle's it's never going to be good in time. But you mentioned that he's coming off an injury from last year. So is this a guy that could get fully right And like all of a sudden we're like, oh, wow, look at this guy. He does have some bursts. He does do some things well. Obviously the catching, only 24 catches in college is not great. It's a total unknown though. Again, to your Melvin Gordon point, like, did he just not get thrown the ball? And that's why we just don't know. So I don't want to completely knock this guy because I think he's got some skills between the tackles. And he can be like a tough inside runner. I know he's only 203 pounds, but I do feel like he's a fall forward type of guy instead of getting pushed backwards. And he's going to fight like hell to get extra yards. So he's a tough runner. If he does have any sort of
I think you're right,
pass
I think
catching,
PPR skill, like that would change it. Like
right.
it would change his profile.
So I mean, I have a 71. I'm not like overly optimistic or anything crazy like that, but he'll probably land 5 or 6 or something like that for me. So I'm not like crazy in love with this guy, especially in this class. I mean, we're talking about a guy that, 3rd round somewhere. If he's, like in the right situation, if he gets drafted to the right situation, cool. If not, like 4th, 5th round. But I think there's
not the NFL draft.
Right, in a rookie draft, not the NFL draft. So I mean, I just want to be clear.
NFL
Like,
draft,
I just think there's,
5th.
yeah, I think there's some things that Le'Veon Moss does well. That's
He's
it.
got some things.
He's got some things.
He's got some things. I think I'm a little closer to Rich on this one. I have him at a 68.7. So I do have him a decent amount lower than you do. I didn't see a lot of speed on tape. I have him a fairly low score on there. I'll go back and watch what you're saying about some of the celebration. Maybe you just keep sprinting during celebration and other people jog their celebrations. I don't know. But
I mean, check it out. Just check it out because it happened more than once, and I was like, "What the frick?" He's doing it again. He's running down the play.
But at least with the ball, I did not see a lot of speed there, and he seemed to have a hard time getting the corner. So I think some of that is like bend and loose hips and that kind of stuff. But then the other part of that is speed. So those two things together, like, show me. I'm curious. But my biggest red flag is honestly over his entire career. Even though he had 4 seasons, his highest carry total is 121 touches. It means the guy just could never get the opportunity because he was always hurt or, not playing or whatever. Like, that's a real big concern for me. Maybe he's just been really unlucky and everything pans out, but it makes him a really difficult evaluation because you're always kind of constantly wondering, is he hurt while I'm watching this? Is he not? Is he, playing through something? Is he like, I don't know how far he is in his recovery from all the different things that are happening over that time. So for me, I like I said, I have him at a 68.7, which is like middle of this class, like kind of dead center. But the hard part is all of these guys are under 70 for me, which at that point, I'm just not super interested. I'll take a chance on a couple of them that I like, but we'll see. There's nothing that's telling me right now that there's a chance that this guy has that specific skill that helps him be a difference maker for fantasy, unless he gets an awesome goal line role.
Yeah, I just don't see the fantasy production either.
I have a hard time seeing it too.
I would be if he was involved in a passing game. I could see he has some things that you can get excited about.
He'd be more like Jonah Coleman if he could be involved in the passing game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but
Jonah Coleman's better though.
If my
Jonah Coleman's much better.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. Something like that.
That's pretty common.
The saying
in the streets of that conversation.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Well, listen, if you're like, I'm just not excited about this rookie class and I need some running back helps. I can't draft any, and I need a team to be excited about because my team is doo-doo butter. And it sounds like what these guys are telling me, I'm not turning around in 2026. Well, I got some good news for you. Just go get a new team. Slide on over to myffpc.com. That's right, just slide on over. They got some orphans. They're dropping orphans over there every single week. Last week they had a big 100-team drop. So you probably missed out on some of those sexy little bad boy teams, but they're still out there. They still have orphans. You can get in there, find a little one that you like. Maybe it's not a newborn orphan, but maybe it's one you can still mold into your own eyes of a family member. So get in there, check them out. get one in any format you want. You know, they could be super flex, PPR, standard, all kinds of fun things over at my FFPC. And some of these teams are discounted as well. So you know, like it could be $1,000 team, and you can get it for like $500. You never know. And you know, if you don't want to do that, you just join a new league. Those will be open up as well, and you get that security of my FFPC. You hear us talk about it all the time, guys. Like they've never had a league fold over at myffpc.com. So get over there, check them out. Play in their games. They have like good games for like big prizes, like the Big Gorilla and stuff along those lines as well. So myffpc.com. If you use the promo code NERDS, they're going to hook you up with the $25. That's right. You can get yourself some good meat food. You get yourself a t-shirt, not a good t-shirt probably, but like a t-shirt. Or more importantly, you're going to get a discount on a team, right? So if you're buying $100 team, it's half off. You're getting a team for $25. It's a real nice entry point because sometimes you see the teams you're like, man, this team's not good. I need a year. Like, let me get a discount. People are like, we're not giving you a discount. This is Dynasty. It's on you to turn around. They give you the discounts. So not only will your league never fold, they're going to give you a discount to take out the trash and turn it around. And if you're listening to this podcast, I can tell you one thing. You're going to turn that team around. So get over there, myffpc.com. Promo code NERDS. We'll see you there.
And don't forget, too, we don't do this enough, but if you want to prove us wrong, we've got a film room out there. Go over to dynastynerds.com, check out our film room, watch all the All-22 tape, and you can be like, Garrett, Rich, you guys are idiots. Matt knows what he's talking about. Le'Veon Moss is the man. He's going to be the second coming of his namesake, Le'Veon Bell. All right? You can tell us that, but you can't tell us if you don't go and watch the tape. So go head on over there, dynastynerds.com. Best decision you'll make probably ever.
And to be fair, Garrett, if you're disgusted by this class, we have some guys who are going to be in the 27 class starting the film room too.
That's true. We do already have some 27 tape.
Yeah, you want to get fluffed up a little bit. You want to be a little ready, come in strong. Let them know you mean business. Start watching some 27 tape. I'm going to cleanse myself when it's all done, and I think I'm going to go through. I'm going to set into 27 in the film room, and I'm just going to get down with the business. Like I'm going to watch this. I need a healthy dose of like Jeremiah Smith.
Oh man, I can't wait for that. Just cleanse all this crap out. All right. Anyway, guys, let's get started. Speaking of cleansing the crap, let's get started on this second half of our last running back show. First guy up, Jam Miller, running back, Alabama, 5'10.25", 209 pounds, 8 3/4 inch hands, 30 3/8 inch hands, or 30 3/8 inch arms. Those would be some big hands. That would be ridiculous.
You need to play receiver.
Yeah, right. Or outfield or something. Like,
yeah, you don't even need a glove.
Just robbing dudes from home runs without even jumping. Anyway, he's 21. He's 21 years old. He's going to be 22 in April. At the combine, he ran a 4.42 in the 40 with a 1.53 10-yard split. He had a 9'7" broad jump, 30.5-inch vertical. Last year at Alabama, in 11 games, he had 130 rush attempts, 504 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 19 receptions, 109 yards receiving, and no additional touchdowns. Guys, let's get into this, man.
Yeah, let's talk about Jam Miller here. Jam Miller from Alabama. So already there's a certain stigma with Alabama running backs, and you're like, oh, okay, got a guy from Bama here. What's that?
It's more like a stigmatism.
Stigmata.
So you know, but you're excited. You know, they've turned out some good running backs over the years. A lot of big name guys have run the ball, tote the rock for the Crimson Tide. And so I'm watching, and I'm like, oh, you know, he's got a good build to him. He can, you know, he can't do much. He really can't do much.
He's got a good build.
Got a good build.
He's got a good 40.
Like his 40 was good. It was like surprisingly good, actually.
Very
surprisingly, because jam, like, don't forget the peanut butter with the jam, because like I was really surprised.
Like I didn't think he was like slow, but I didn't see 4.4 speed. Like I thought he was a 4.5s.
Like low.
There was times that he looked slow on tape.
Yeah,
there was times I was like, dude, this guy looks like
honestly. I thought his vision was not great.
He missed cutback lanes constantly. That was one of the things I was like, oh.
For a guy that has like a solid build to him, like didn't break tackles. Like every time he got brought down, Like it was kind of crazy to watch because he fell forward, which is good, but I was actually intentionally trying to watch it every game. I couldn't find one where I know on PFF he had some, so maybe it was only on the games I didn't watch. I don't know, but it felt like every time someone touched him, he ended up going down. There just wasn't a lot of good, true running back ability there. I thought he was one of the better pass pro running backs. That was one of the few notes I had. Other than that,
he does a good job in pass pro. It was my pass pro note. I was pretty truncated with my notes on this guy.
I didn't have a lot to go on. Maybe he can be an okay third down running back because he could catch the ball a little bit, and he was good in pass pro. So maybe that's his lane. But outside of that, there just weren't a lot of good running back things there to really hang my hat on. 65.6, not a good score, not a prospect I'm interested in, more or less off my board.
63.7. I'm not drafting this.
Okay, even worse.
He's pretty bad.
I'm glad you.
I don't know,
style, Garrett, because dude, it's his lane is lowest lane because he's an idiot because he doesn't even know Superman's sitting right across from him. Just put some glasses, boom. All of a sudden, you don't even know. I'm with you, Matt. He's not. I can't think of anything. I don't know how this dude gets drafted.
I'd be shocked if he was drafted.
I don't know how he's at Alabama.
I was shocked. I expected at least mediocrity.
Yeah, that's why Nick Saban left. He said, "Dude, I've
start Nick Miller or Jam Miller."
What was I thinking?
Nick Miller, that's the guy from New Girl.
I want some more jam for my peanut butter sandwich here. All
right. Let's quit bagging on the guy. He's a fantastic athlete in the real world. He's just not a fantastic athlete for the NFL.
Better than 99.9% of the world, but not.
Oh yeah,
nearly good enough for the NFL.
Dude, sure, you're a good dude.
Right.
Sure, it just got from my dynasty perspective. This is all it is. This is, you might be a good running back in the somewhere, but just not my
somewhere.
I mean, he might be a fine special teams guy. He might make a team like that. I have no idea.
Sure.
He's got a good build. Just ask Garrett. He's got a good build and he's got good speed. So he could be a special team.
I don't have anything to hang my hat on. Nothing.
Right. No, from a fantasy football standpoint, it's very hard. All right. So moving on. Our next running back here is Hemby, sorry, not Hembley, Hemby, Indiana running back, 6 foot, 207 pounds, 9.5-inch hands, 31-inch arms. He's 23. He'll be 24 in August. He didn't run anything at the combine. Last year at Indiana in 16 games, he had 230 attempts, 1,120 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns, 17 receptions, 165 receiving yards, and no additional touchdowns there.
Yeah, Roman, a lot of these 6 foot, 205 pound running backs, man. Who's feeding these kids these days? We got things we got to do out here.
Not Jonah Coleman. He's 5'9", 228, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. This is rising. So, I mean, okay. So Roman Hemby, Indiana, to me, again, another solid. I feel like we're being redundant with some of these guys too. These 6 foot, 205 guys. Solid patience. He reads his blocks pretty well. He gets to the line pretty nice. He's a one cut runner, right? So he makes his one cut, gets downhill. No nonsense, doesn't waste any motion. I like that about him. And he just gets through the hole, and he gets to that hole and gets through it with a purpose. A lot of durability there. Played 4 years. We talk about a lot of guys that have injuries. He played 4 years at Indiana, ran the ball a lot there, and stayed pretty durable. He's got good hands. He does. I don't say they're great hands, but he's got good hands there.
He caught 40 balls at Maryland in 24, 38, and then 33 the 2 previous seasons. So he has caught balls in the past.
Yeah, definitely has some ball catching skills out there, which is nice. He's willing in pass protection. He's okay, but at least he tries better than most out here. Never fumbles the football. He's only got 2 career fumbles on 710 carries, which is really nice. So he gets that ball in there high and tight and doesn't really put the ball on the ground there. So, that being said, his big thing is, like I said, he's a one cut runner, but He doesn't break tackles, doesn't avoid tackles, so he's not like a yards after, he's not a yak guy, right? Or he's not going to run, not yak, but he's not going to get a lot of yards after contact there. So, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of big runs on tape at all. So, again, he's a hand the ball off kind of guy, plant his foot, go, sees that first hole, like kind of like going back and the Singleton, like, and that's it. Like, that's what it gets. And he's not a bursty player. He's not overly elusive in that category as well. He's an upright runner. So that does help his cause with getting loose out there. So to me, Roman Hemby falls out into the category of a solid running back that I don't expect to score big time runs. He'd have to be, again, falls in that category of he needs to get 30 touches to be remotely relevant. And it's just not.
And who would give him 30 touch? I mean,
exactly.
Right. I mean, like he's just not good enough at the NFL level to warrant that. So I agree with you, Rich.
Catchability, Matt, too. Like, it brings back up to like he stays on my board because he can catch the football. He's got solid ball control. So he's on my board. But
he does things well enough that he shouldn't be off your board. I agree with that. So I think I've got him in the like 67.5 range. So he's a solid backup type of guy for me that, if Rich, you're saying like he fell into the perfect situation where he somehow got carries in a game or touches in a game or something like that, I think he would be fantasy relevant. He's not like a complete dud of a running back, but I think he lacks, the actual speed, the top end speed to be a guy like a big time difference maker. So I think that's kind of the element that's missing from his game. He's not like a pile mover or anything like that, but he can break a tackle here and there. You know what I mean? So he'll do that kind of stuff. But it's hard to project this guy just because I think he's somewhat capped, and I think the NFL knows that these guys this year just aren't that good. I don't know that there's going to be a lot of teams drafting that they're like, we need to get these guys involved early. I think these guys are going to have to earn their spots on the team first and then kind of work their way up the ladder. And for a guy that's 23 years old, is going to be 24 before the season starts, that you don't have a lot of time to crawl up that ladder, man. Like,
the crazy part is he's not even the oldest running back we're going to talk about.
And that's old for a running back.
He sure isn't. Yeah, it is.
For Hemby, I think he is your prototypical backup running back. Like, there is very, very little hope for him to be fantasy relevant. He'll be solid enough if he gets an opportunity. But there is no team that is going to ever trust and rely on him to be even a committee back. He is a true backup running back that I think can do most things well enough that he will stay around and hang around the league for a while, and coaches will like him and that kind of stuff. But as soon as the depth depletes to the point where he is starting, they're making a trade. They are scouting practice squad guys. They're like, he's not a guy that you're going to give more than 1 or 2 games of true carries to, because he's just your truest backup running back. Solid in a lot of different ways, but he's not going to be fantasy relevant.
He's a plain baked potato.
Yeah. You'll eat it.
It's the job done.
Yeah.
Fills you
At least
up.
it was baked. It's not a raw potato.
Yeah, it's not a raw potato. It's a baked potato. Like, but that's it. There's no
chives,
butter,
no sour cream, no butter.
No, not even any butter. A little salt because you can catch the football.
Okay.
A little bit. That's about it. Like,
but by the way, I just realized I have not given all of the run blocking for a lot of these guys. So I do want to do that real quickly, just to recap. Roman Hemby, the best in the class, 3rd in college football last year, run blocking. Nick Singleton had 18th, tied for 5th in this class. Jam Miller, 43rd. That was 8th in this class. Jadarian Price, 45th. That tied for 9th in this class. And then Le'Veon Moss, 54th. That was 14th in this class.
Okay.
All right. On to the last one here. Rahsul Faison, South Carolina running back, 5'11", 208 pounds, 9-inch hands, 30 and 7/8 inch arms. He's 26.
You guys
He
are
just
gonna
turned
put it
26 in February.
It's the age we're trying to get away from running backs, not draft them.
This is the most
26. He's
unbelievable
26.
thing
Guys, should I continue? He's 26.
A man
all right,
amongst boys.
anyway. Literally. At South Carolina last year, in 12 games, he had 96 attempts, 470 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, 19 receptions, 118 yards, and no additional touchdowns. This guy started college in 2019. 2019.
19. Pre-COVID.
That was before COVID. That dude started. Man.
He's been playing college football
26.
basically the entirety of my time at Dynasty Nerds.
Wow.
He's like, dude, this is great. I got like 5 more years and they're gonna keep giving me exceptions.
Dude, crazy. Here's the thing, like
the worst is he's not even a terrible running back.
That's the worst part. Like, I wanted him to be awful, like just total dog doo-doo, so I could just completely write him off. But like his nerd score is actually 7th. Now, that's solely on tape. He's not going to be my 7th ranked running back because of these other factors. But nerd score wise, he's my 6th. He's at a 70.5. He's one of 2 players in the 70 club, him and Nick Singleton. Like 70.05, I should say.
Even that, because I'm like, dude, is this kind of like, is it going back to the original take of like, this is a man amongst boys? Like, okay, like, was he like just really solid on this last year's tape, or is like he's just so old, big, and strong? Like he's just like, you know what I mean? It's not fair.
You got to be calling him Unk, right? I mean, like, dude, he's
over
old.
19-year-old running backs or linebackers. Like, okay.
Do you remember? Remember that video that they did? This was probably a decade ago now, where Deion Sanders put on like a wig, and he had like it was like Leon Sandcastle or something like that, like a fake name.
Yeah.
He like ran the 40 and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not convinced this wasn't an NFL player that was suspended or something like that. That's just like in disguise that like is trying to make a comeback. Like I don't know. It's crazy.
Still got it.
That's the thing. Like he actually, when you look at his vision to his feet and his movement skills, he's actually a very elusive running back, and he has a good feel for the hole. So that's the thing, is like you see some of that and you're like, that is intriguing. Like if he was 22, my thought process around this would be drastically different.
Lots of practice.
Lots of practice, but he does not
7
offer years and almost a decade worth of college football. He doesn't offer much as far as like power, breaking tackles, things like that. And even in this last year, it's only 400 yards. So like they didn't trust him with a lot, which is really interesting. But when you look at his movement skills, they truly are there. He is quick. He is elusive. He can make good decisions in the open field. And there's a little bit of receiving there that he's able to do. He doesn't have a good, like, he's not like a sprinter. So like he is more quick than fast, I think. But he does enough there that it's like, I can't write him off, because there is a team that could be a hashtag 2 to 3 year window for an NFL team, which normally we use that for Dynasty, but there could be an NFL GM that's just like, we need some depth. I'll take him in the 6th round. I know I'm getting like a literal 2 years out of him, but he can do enough. So that's the hard part, is like, I can't write him off because he's actually not awful.
I think maybe a priority free agent, right? I feel like that's what he is. Like, go out and get him, because you're only paying money. And then it's the same as free agency. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, who cares? It's just another 26-year-old running back. This one's a little greener than,
Do I want him or Garret Patterson kind of thing?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because I think you're right. There are some redeeming qualities out there. He looks like a guy that could be playing in the NFL. Quite literally, because he could be or should be.
Was.
Maybe was. Maybe was. Maybe he's got the NFL experience.
Got kids that are in middle school.
So anyway, I mean, I don't have a lot to add. I think you kind of nailed the what he does well. I would say, not a pile mover. I think you kind of mentioned the same thing. I thought his pass pro was pretty good. He was doing a good job of identifying guys, getting in front of them. Like
Definitely
most
effort
guys that
there.
are, most guys that you watch in college, they're not great at like actually holding their ground for the most part. And I thought that he kind of did not hold up in that aspect of it, but for the most part, all that kind of all the pass pro stuff's a little iffy this year.
Yeah, the fact that he's 26, he's the Brandon Weeden of running backs. I never thought in my career I would ever be talking about a 26-year-old rookie running back. I really never thought that would even be a possibility for somebody who had to play that long in the NFL or college football. But you're right. Like, out of all the running backs I've watched, at least he has some okay tape, compared to a lot of these guys. And maybe like if there's ever going to be a 26-year-old running back coming out, this would be the year to do it. Because like you said, Garrett, people look at this and, if he's undrafted and you sign him as an undrafted free agent, he goes in the 7th round somewhere as well. You're like, hey, like, I'm just going to take this guy, his first contract. We don't even, honestly, we can just use him for 2 years. And who cares? He doesn't want to pay him out. Like, we can keep him on the team after his whole contract. Come to 7th rounder isn't anything, right? It's just, it's a veteran contract, rookie contract anyways, minimum contract. So maybe in the right situation, this guy can give you 1 to 2 years, 3 years as well. Because again, he played some JUCO college for a couple of years here too. So he started at Marshall. They went off. They was playing JUCO. So like, he does not like he has this ton of tread-ass tires, compared to we're playing 7 years. Like, you think he'd be like, this guy's got 1 million carries, but like, he's been like a more of a situational guy throughout his career anyways. I thought, he's really good at making people miss. I thought that was a huge pro for me on him. Like, there was a stat in there, like, I think for Pro Football Focus, like he forces missed tackles like at a very high rate in this class. So for me, that showed up on tape, his vision, his natural instincts as a runner. Again, he's had a lot of practice here as well. So like, that does mean something as well. Like for like a quarterback, they have a lot of reps like that. That's a good thing. Like, some of these guys that play for a long time come in and be role players in NFL because they can come in and be professional football players, right? And sometimes they'll be at the running back level. Like, some teams might just be looking, hey man, we just need a guy come in, be professional, come in here, get the football and tote the rock for us. And that's what Faison could do. So amongst all these running backs, he's viable in the passing game. Like, he doesn't run good routes or anything, but he does have natural hands. At least I saw that on tape as well. So for me, out of these running backs that we all talked about, there's so many guys I do not see a path for fantasy-wise. When I'm in the late 4th round of my draft and I don't want to take the 25th receiver, the 18th receiver, this is a guy that I'm definitely like interested in adding. And it's again, he's 26, but like, I have in this class, I have no long-term plans for him. And what's nice is like, I can stash, like for me, I can stash in my taxi squad. And by the time his taxi squad eligibility runs out, like, he's retired anyways. Like, he's a 28, going to be 29-year-old running back. So I can just cut him off my roster. Right. So like, for me, like, if you have a rule where you can like move guys up and down your taxi squad as many times as you want, this is like, in this draft class, this is like a good draft pick, right? Because then after the 2 years, like, boom, you don't have to worry about him taking up a roster spot.
I don't even have a choice. He's done.
Yeah, it's just, exactly. At that point, he's a grandparent. This is great. He's telling Civil War stories. This is going to be good news. So, yeah, you could do worse than him. He's on the board, and he's honestly probably like that 3rd tier for me. Like, comes to running back, he's in that mix. Like, let's see what happens to him where he ends up.
I would love if he was 22. He would be kind of an exciting guy, but oh well. It is what it is.
That was a quarter of a century ago. It was, we still started the years with 20 teens. You started playing college. That's ridiculous.
All right.
I could have had a kid when we started going to college. Now this kid could talking to you about mathematics.
Well, that just about does it, huh, Rich? That
was our last guy. Kicking off wide receivers. So if you're done with all that throw up in your mouth, it does get better. The receiving class, a little sexier. Tomorrow's show, we'll see. But the shows after that, for sure, they get sexier. See you then.
Adios.